Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the indie horror film The Other Lamb, directed by Małgorzata Zumowska, and starring Raffi Cassidy as a young woman who's part of this cult, and this cult is led by Michelle Huisman's Shepherd. And I guess the first thought that I have about this film is, if you've seen A24 horror films at this point, this is very much has that feeling. I think this was an IFC production, so it wasn't technically an A24, but I feel like A24 and Blumhouse have really set the tone of you're either going to get really pulpy, 70s and 80s influenced horror films at this point, and that's very much the Blumhouse kind of method, or A24, you're getting these really artistically breathtaking, unnerving, and strange horror films. And this one definitely falls on that end of the spectrum. It's really well shot. It is gorgeous, and from a visual perspective, they use a lot of things to really build up tension and to build this sense of dread throughout the film. And it's an interesting dynamic because this feels the look of it's very Handmaid's Tale, except it's blue instead of red. They all have this same outfit on, and feels a little like Kimmy Schmidt, kind of Richard Wayne, Gary Wayne kind of cult going on here. This one man with all these other women in this situation, and they're all dressed up in these old-timey outfits, and finding out that no, this really takes place in modern times. So it does The Village, except doesn't use it as a plot twist, nor they're creepy monster people. Or are there? You never know. Don't want to spoil a movie from 2004. But really thinking about this film, it really lives and dies upon the performance of Raffi Cassidy, who gives a really strong performance here. There's moments where it's hard to feel connected to her because some of her actions, but in general, you just feel for this group of women because they're in this society that they're forced into by this cult leader, and you hope that they can get out of this. And there's striking visuals, there's creepy atmosphere, and the story slowly builds up to the point where it's you hope that they can take control and really free themselves from this oppression that they're being put into. And this film delivers on the atmosphere. You feel that. You feel unnerved. You feel the creepiness to it. Does it really sell you on the story? Not so much. I feel like this film could have had a more intriguing story, intriguing plot that leads you up to where this film needs to go. But it really does incorporate some intriguing themes about womanhood and coming into your own in that way. And I feel like this film really delivers more thematically and atmosphere-wise than it does in terms of an actual plot. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like this film felt like it was missing a little bit. And the film's it's a little over an hour and a half, but it definitely has that pacing where that A24 indie kind of art house horror film that really takes its time and might be alienating to audiences. And this is very much it has strong critic reviews, and audience reviews are what the hell was this? But in general, I think The Other Lamb delivers enough in terms of an atmospheric horror film to give you enough to get out of this film, and it has some intriguing themes about womanhood, and it has a creepy premise. What's more creepier than a cult? Good question. But those are my thoughts on The Other Lamb. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.